Hello guys, welcome to this video showcase of some 3D modeling done in Blender 2.63, a free modeling package which you can download through the blender.org website. My name is Tate and I'm working on a project called Sports Fiction, which you can cover on the TGC forums at forums.thegamecreators.com, or you can visit the website at www.sportsfiction.net. To begin, we're going to create a sign. We're going to place it into a game level that I'm working on. Now let's have a look at what we have. The default scene, we have a cube here by default. On your screen it will be slightly different because I've customized my setup for this monitor. Now my workflow, I have Windows XP on this computer. Some of my videos I'll be using Windows 7 to do other things. I've basically got different systems for different kinds of jobs, so I customize my setup to make things as comfortable as possible. To begin with, I'm going to select this cube and I'm going to press the X key and get rid of it. No need for it. We're going to press the A key and then we're going to press the Shift and A key and add a cylinder. Now we're going to create a pole for the sign, but before we get into that, let's have a look at a few issues with cylinders. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the quality of this video so that we can see the shading more effectively. Okay, now I've increased the quality of our video capture, so hopefully you'll be able to see all the definition that we're displaying on screen. Let's get rid of this part of the screen here by dragging the bottom left handle downwards. Let's increase the size of this viewport. I'm going to press the T key on the keyboard to show up the Object Tools panel. I'm going to press the Smooth Shading button. As you can see, the shading of the object is now smooth. If you press flat, which is the default setting, you get these facets on the edge of the cylinder, and this is going to be pretty much how it would look inside the DBPRO engine without any smooth shading. To get around this, we can simply press the smooth button, which is a common way of resolving the issue, but still the vertex lighting isn't quite what we really want for a top quality scene. So I'm going to demonstrate another way to resolve this issue, and we're going to compare the different results by making a duplication of this cylinder. We can duplicate by pressing the Shift and D key. I'll press the Y key to align to the Y axis. Now in DBPRO the Y axis faces upwards, but in Blender it faces forwards, and Z faces upwards in Blender. I don't know why, but that's just the way it is. I'll press the G key followed by the Y key and drag over here. I'll press the Shift and D key again to make a new duplicate. I'll drag it over here and press the Y key to align to this axis here. Now we'll make the left hand cylinder nice and smooth. We'll leave the one in the center with its default shading. I'll drag open the properties palette and select the modifiers tab, which is the tab with the picture of the spanner. I'll add a modifier called the edge split. Nothing will take place by default because we have it on the flat shading mode. In order for this modifier to make any adjustments to the mesh, we need to set it to the smooth shading mode. Now, as you can see, the new cylinder has smooth shading on certain vertices. The top part is still nicely shaded with its flat shading, and the outer parameter has smooth shading, much better than the original smooth shaded cylinder with the lighting at the top looking a little bit silly really. Now let's have a look at how this will look inside the DBPRO engine. I'll launch Indigo and I'll export this as a DirectX file. I'll save it in the mesh data folder. I'll save it as test cylinder.x. I'll drag down and make sure that the apply modifiers option is selected. I'll export. Now if you don't see the export DirectX option in your menu, all you need to do is go to user preferences, enter into the add-ons tab and select the import export in the browser and select DirectX model format. Click the checkbox and it will be activated. Author Chris Foster, version 2.13. I mentioned earlier this is actually, I said that this was Blender 2.63, but this is actually Blender 2.64. Anyway, now we have the object saved. Let's get Indigo open, put it in this window here. As you can see, we've got a green background. This is just my custom settings. Your background will be white and in more traditional colors. You can change the colors in Indigo by adjusting the settings in the font and color scheme box. So it's now time to load our cylinders into the DBPRO project. Now our cylinders are free objects, but they are actually, in as far as DBPRO is concerned, they are one object with 3 limbs. In fact, it's going to be an object with, I think, 4 limbs. One limb is the root limb, which contains an empty limb that contains all other limbs. When you export from Blender, there's always going to be an extra limb, the root limb. So let's think here. Let's load object G drive BM SF files mesh data test cylinder. Did I save it as cylinder or cylinder improve? Let's check. Please bear with me. Got a very bad memory. Test cylinder, no plural. Okay, we will assign you to object number 1, and that's it really. I'm just going to create a loop statement so that the program doesn't end, and we're going to give ourselves the ability to move around. Control camera using arrow keys. Our control camera 0 by default. Move at speed of 2, speed of 1 because the object's pretty small. Rotation speed of 2. I'm going to move the object down a touch, the auto camera, so that it doesn't change the camera position when we load or create objects. No need for sync commands. Just going to have a look at the cylinder. Now go back a bit. There we go. Nice cylinders. So let's see. I don't know what position I am in 3D space, but I can tell that the one on the right hand side has the smooth shading applied on all of the vertices. The escape key. As you create your object in Blender, use the edge split to create a nice finished surface on your cylinders or similar object shapes. You've got a angle limit here where you can change the threshold. The higher you put the setting, the more sharp the edge has to be in order to stay flat. If you put it low, then it will stay flat pretty much on all the edges. But if you raise it up, the edges become nice and smooth, apart from the sharp edge, because this is more than 18 degrees. The default setting is 30, so we return that. Okay, so if we raise it above 90 degrees, you see it affects the top half in an undesirable fashion. This can also apply to spheres. We'll add a sphere, pressing the Shift and A key, UV sphere, scale it up so we can see it. We'll press the front/ key on the numpad to enter into local view. We'll switch into solid mode. We will set it to smooth. We will add the edge split modifier. We will adjust the angle limit so that it only affects, in fact, we need to deform the shape so that we end up having a sharp edge. Let's deform this. Let us press the smooth vertex button to a high degree. There we go. Now let's see if this does the trick. There we go. A difference. Now the top of the sphere is nice and sharp around the edges, nicely defined, and on the edge of the sphere we have the smooth shading still applied. Turn it off, and the top half still has these artifacts here. If you can see them clearly, you have artifacts around the edges. Now let's get on with the sign. Delete the sphere. In fact, we're going to global view by pressing the front/ key on the numpad, X or delete key, confirm. So that covers the cylinders. In the next part of this showcase, I'm going to start forming together our sign, and we're going to make a little texture for it and apply it and load it into the DBPRO engine. Until then, take care.